listeners. My name's Anita Sharma, and this is my podcast, Signs. I pretty much start every episode the same way. I definitely feel like one of the, luckiest people in the world because I'm an entertainment lawyer and I get to represent some of the most incredible and compelling digital first creators in the world. And today's guest is no exception to that. My guest was Drew Afualo. We had a blast recording this. She has 8 million plus followers on TikTok and she started with 0. So we talked about how she broke big, why she's so good at roasting misogynists, what's wrong with the NFL, where out of college she had her first job. So I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did. Today's episode, Drew Afualo. Signed, Conversations with Digital Mavericks. Welcome to Signed, Conversations with Digital Mavericks. I'm your host, Anita Sharma. Today, I have the pleasure to sit with a multi-talented podcaster, author, and influencer, also a client. She is known for taking dudes with misogynistic and fat-phobic viewpoints head-on by mercilessly roasting them. I also call this God's work. She's also known for her podcast, Two Idiot Girls, and of course the award-winning The Comment Section, and her book, Loud, Accept Nothing Less Than the Life You Deserve. She has been awarded many accolades. There's so many lists, Drew. We've got Forbes 30 Under 30, Forbes Top Creator, Hollywood Reporter's 50 Most Influential Influencers, Adweek's Digital and Tech Creator of the Year, and Time Magazine's Next Generation Leaders. I probably missed some, but here we are. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Sign, Drew Afualo. I knew I was going to screw that up.
Damn,
Drew Afualo. I even put it on my
it.
cards. I printed it in phonetics. Drew Afualo.
That's so funny because you literally know my last name. I get exactly. It though. Trust me. I practice a million times. But thank you so much for having me, Anita. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being on. We've worked together for a few years, and it's just been so incredible being on this journey with you. And I appreciate so much you taking the time. I know you're a very busy girl. I know this firsthand because we're doing, so many deals all the time.
Right.
But yeah, I'd love to start with pre-TikTok. So, one thing I purposely left out of that intro is your interest in sports. You come from a really athletic family of pro athletes. I have met your father, who was gigantic. And you studied sports journalism in college. You graduate from college, you end up at the NFL. So basically you start at the top.
Right.
Which is, it's like a sports journalist dream. I heard you didn't love it. Why? Why is that?
When I was initially pursuing journalism, I knew I wanted to be on camera. And I knew I loved sports and I played sports my whole life. So I just kind of figured they went hand in hand. But what I found through studying journalism at school was that what I really loved more than just, statistics and gameplay, what I loved more than that was who they were off the field too. Like a lot of these athletes have very interesting stories and very interesting backgrounds. And so when I started working for my school paper, when I became the sports editor, I started leaning more into profiling and kind of following them off the field. And my senior capstone thesis was like a 4-month long form narrative story where I followed Tua Tagovailoa, who is like a Samoan left-handed quarterback that is from Hawaii. And he's a superstar in the NFL now, and he was a superstar in college and in high school. And so I followed him for like 3-4 months. It took me forever to get a hold of his family and stuff. And I feel like that kind of solidified what I really loved, which was learning more about people and writing about them in a way that was respectful to like their culture, to their family, to who they are as people. And so when I got the job at the NFL, I was really excited because I was like, okay, I can bring that skill set here. And when I got to the NFL, the irony is that the job that I was, the job I interviewed for was in that vein. That's not the job I ended up getting. I actually got passed up for that job. They told me I didn't have enough experience to warrant paying me that much. So they pushed me to another desk. That being said, they were very interested in having me. So they were very we really love you. We wrote a letter of recommendation. Like, we hope that it comes through. So the job I actually ended up getting was for social media, which is fine. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm young. And then they wanted me to target women. And so like in the interview process for that, this is me being a Virgo, but I literally made a whole PowerPoint of why I think women are so powerful in the NFL. And I was
you pulled out the PowerPoint. Right, I love it.
I did a PowerPoint. I did it for every person I interviewed with. I was like, they make up 60% of viewership. And I was like, I think it's important we target them in a way that feels like you're just talking to someone who loves football. I felt like at the time, the idea was, oh, women, right? Make it pink. They're going to love it if it's pink. And I just feel like it was such a cheap way of summing up women. Like, you want to target women. I know how to target women. So I felt like when I was there, I was really trying to do something bigger than what they wanted me to do, which was just to go viral. That's like all they wanted. But even in that vein, they didn't really care for my ideas as much as I wish they did. And I think as just the longer I worked there, I was like, this is just not at all what I thought it was going to be. I felt very stifled creatively. I felt very pushed down, and I felt very like I climbed the mountaintop and I just didn't like the view. And then it felt like it was too late to turn back because I had been working for so long towards that goal. And so, you know, I'm not someone who leaves with no plan. So I was so miserable at that job for a while, and I kept telling my family and my partner, I was like, I'm so sick of it. I can't do it anymore. And they were like, well, then quit. And I was like, well, okay, you're talking crazy because I don't have another plan.
The Virgo's like, no, please, no, exactly. I can't do it.
Exactly. So I just think that we weren't aligned creatively. What's ironic is that, and they hate when I say this, but I don't care because it is true. Part of the reason that they let me go was because they said that I couldn't grow the following. It turns out I can't.
Wow, that is so hilarious.
Well, that's what makes it so ironic.
Right. If they had just let you do what you are so good at doing, right? And it's just, this is the thing about these corporate jobs. And no, I hear you. It's so funny. It's like a be careful what you wish for situation, right? Like I was the same way. Like I graduated from law school, ended up at this huge New York law firm and was miserable. And that's supposed to be the pinnacle. And you're just like, I was just like, I can't do this. You know, it was, but I hear you. I can relate to you on that. And so you quit.
Yes, I did. Well,
I was fired. Well, they let you go. Right, of course, because you couldn't build a following.
Yeah, they asked me to go.
They politely asked you for your letter of resignation. Yeah.
And then I went because they asked me to go. But when I did leave, I think like 2 weeks later, the pandemic hit.
Oh, wow.
Everybody was at home. And my fiance encouraged me to start posting on TikTok because TikTok had started exploding. Mind you, when I was working there, I said, we should get a TikTok because it's huge right now. And you want to target young women. Like a lot of them are on TikTok. And they told me that was stupid. They said that was a stupid idea. You're right. It is. You're right. It is stupid. It's very stupid. Don't do it.
Yeah, nobody's watching TikTok. Forget it.
Exactly. And I think they thought it was going to be a fad and it was going to fade. Thankfully, though, I took my skills elsewhere, right, to myself. And so at home, my fiance encouraged me, like, why don't you post on TikTok? Because back in the day, I used to post rants of me just talking about things that irritated me just to entertain my own friends. I used to put them on like my stories or in Snapchat. At the time, it wasn't scary and awful like it is now. And so I used to just tell stories to entertain people. So I figured, you know, I think he knew I was feeling very like lost, and I felt very unsure of myself, which, Anita, you know me, I'm never unsure of myself.
God, no, of course not. Yeah. Never.
Yeah, I had never.
None of us are.
Exactly.
Right.
I had never experienced that feeling before. So it was like a way for me to be creative and a way for me to like do something fun while I was at home and not be sad about losing my livelihood. And then also everyone's at home. So I started posting on TikTok, and look what happened.
It's like
it worked out.
Right. And it's like, you know, you're so comfortable on camera. It's like you're just whipping out your phone and you're like talking into the camera. And clearly, like, I'm so glad you found that outlet, right? Because it is hard to like leave a job. I mean, that was like such a double whammy for you. It's like you lose your job, the pandemic, but you turned it into, you know, that old saying, you made lemonade out of lemons there.
Right, for real.
And now you've got a whole lot of lemonade.
Thank God. Right. It's so funny too, because if you look at my older videos, but if you look at my older videos, like right when I started making them pretty consistently.
Okay, so we won't cut to those older videos right now. Carmine, the editor, so do not cut to the old videos.
Right. You'll notice that I'm blonder and have crazier lashes, but also the pitch of my voice is like a lot higher. And it's
really?
because, yes, in my old videos, and it's for a reason. It's because when I was in college and I was doing broadcasts, I did a lot of like on-camera stand-up work where I'm like, I'm standing in front of the Capitol. Like I did a lot of those. And I had a professor at the time who was, I don't know, hated me. I don't know why she hated me so badly, but she had told me that I should raise the register of my voice because it's less appealing when women have deeper tones. So she told me I should like raise the register of my voice so that it sounds more feminine. And so in my
it's just ridiculous.
Videos, it's crazy. And in my earlier videos, I sound like Mickey Mouse, and it's humiliating because I'm like, why do I sound like that when I watch them now? But I know why. It's because someone told me to raise the register of my voice. And then I think as I started making them over and over, I stopped doing that. Like I dropped that, let it go. And my voice is pretty low
Thank God.
for a woman, which I love. Thank God. I need it. I need that
I'm
bass
actually
in my
the same. Yeah, I feel like we have similar voices in that way. I was always...
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, there's some gravitas there, you know? Like, you're not a squeaky mouse. Thank God.
Right, especially for what I do.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good segue. So because this podcast is a real hard-hitting journalism, we have done some research, and we found out your middle name is Tyson.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool, man. That's like a pretty kick-ass name. And of course, we did the old Google search, and it turns out that it means like warrior. It's like a tough name, you know, like we think of fighters like Mike Tyson. How did you get that middle name?
It's actually from Mike Tyson. I'm not even kidding. He was in his heyday.
That's so interesting.
When I was born in 95, so he was like in his heyday at the time. And my mom just really liked that name as a name, like just as like a name in general, Tyson. So she made it my middle name. So I have a very gender neutral name, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. My daughter's name is Dylan, and it's the same thing. Everyone assumes she's a boy, which I thought is so weird because I thought like now it's pretty unisex, but I love the gender neutral names. That's a favorite of mine. So we'll get back. Let's get back to TikTok. So we ask everybody, every guest, what was your first viral post?
Oh, my very first viral one, I would say the most viral one was very specific red flags in men. That was my very first one to get 1 million views. And it got it in like a day or two. And I had never in my life seen engagement like that. I mean, I'm going to be 30, so I've been on the internet for a minute. And so I'd never experienced that kind of virality before. I thought it was cool. I was like, okay, period. People are loving the jokes. I love that. And then I got a whole lot of hate in addition to that, which actually is what kicked off my niche of just absolutely obliterating men who annoy me. Right. Are awful. So,
which you do so well. You do. It's like, I told you, it's God's work, my friend. That's what you're doing. It's it's incredible. Someone's got to do it. And if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you. And yes, I mean, the red flag video, like, by the way, I also want to mention your comedic talent. I mean, have you always been funny? Are you like the funny one in your family? Because that's not something that comes naturally to everybody.
No, yeah. I mean, well, thank you, first of all. But I wouldn't say I'm the funny one. I would say my whole family's funny, honestly. My sister would be so pissed if I said I was the funny one. Yeah. I think all of us are funny in our own ways. I think I just got funny and got good at roasting specifically because of my family. My family's a very like, we roast you when we love you kind of family. And so I think that I just got good. I just started doing reps over and over and over again. Believe it or not, back in the day, like when I was a kid, it used to be really hard for me to take a joke. I would get very upset very quickly. And my mom was like, if you're going to tell jokes, you got to learn how to take jokes.
If you're going to dish it out, you got to take it. Yeah.
And that is the ethos of my platform, I would say, because it's very like, well, we're all talking, let's like, want to joke, let's. And I think that someone who is very convicted and confident in who they are as a person can take a joke. Like, I think genuinely funny people can take a joke. So that's what I thought we were doing when I started making fun of men. I was like, okay, well, you want to make fun of people, let's. I'm really good at that. Turns out they don't like that I'm really good at it. They're not big fans of that.
Yeah, I mean, so like it's interesting because some of the red flags you came up with are hilarious and so true. Like obsessed with Wolf of Wall Street, of course. Says Saturdays are for the boys.
Right.
Obsessed with Tom Brady. So how do you continually come up with content? And is it just like there's somebody sending you videos of these idiots and like you're just like, Drew, can you roast this guy?
Oh yes, actually. Like when the red flags video went super viral and I got a bunch of hate, I started making responses to hate. Like I started putting comments, like responding to comments specifically. I would go to their profiles, I would look for what they looked like. I would just put up one picture because at the time too, I didn't even really know how to use TikTok. So I was just like, I don't know how to do multiple pictures. I'll just do one. So I would pick one picture, put it behind me, and just lay out a gang of jokes. I would just fire them off for like a minute, and then I would post it. And I had no following at the time, so I was just doing it over and over and over again, just by myself, because it was making me laugh. So I figured, I made this
love
for
that.
fun. And so I just started doing that over and over and over again. And then I think like just with time, I think the more creative, the funnier. So, and also I know a lot about sports, and that's something that misogynistic men never count on is how much I know about sports. So I can make a lot of sports jokes. That Tom Brady joke hit a lot of people. I sprayed the crowd with a few. So like, that Tom Brady joke was one of the ones they hated the most. And it was, sorry, I'm correct. My bad. What do you call that? That's true every time.
Yeah, it's so interesting that because creators, like this is what's great about talking to creators and different creators, because some creators are very scientific about it, right? They're like, try a bunch of different things and see what sticks. But you were just like, yeah, I was having fun and I was just wanted to tell jokes and like record myself. And then like you really stayed true to that. I mean, did you ever think about like, oh, I want to do some kind of different content?
I started to think that when I was growing very quickly on TikTok. It got to a point where I was growing, because your earlier question about farming content, after I started posting videos of me doing that, like roasting the hell out of dudes, I started getting people tagging me. So they were content farming for me. They were like, I was comparing it to like when cats bring you dead birds and they leave them on your doorstep. Like that's literally what they were doing. They were like, this is a gift. It's ugly, but it's a gift. That's what they would give me all the time. And so I was like, oh, this is easy. Like, I don't even have to go look for it. They're just going to send it to me. And so I started doing that over and over. And then I started growing, like my account got to a point where I was growing 100,000 followers every day, like every single day.
That's unbelievable. That is insane. Those numbers are crazy.
It is crazy. In my prime on TikTok, I would get 3 to 5 million views every single video I posted. And it was just like completely insane. But at the same time that my platform was growing, I wasn't getting any hits from agencies, from people who wanted to sign me. Like no one was touching me. And it's quite literally because of what I was doing. And Alex, my agent now, like we love Alex. We love Alex. She was one of the only ones to reach out to me and say like, hey, I think you have something really special. I really want to work with you. And so what's crazy about her is like, even when she reached out to me initially, like she had to fight for me. Like she really had to be like, I'm telling you she's going somewhere. And it's because everyone said that I wasn't marketable. Like they were saying, there's no way brands are going to want to work with her. She's contentious and confrontational and mean and fucking like just all the things that are prejudiced and all of those things.
Part of the problem is probably all these men in these decision-making roles were saying no. I mean, like that's the sad reality. I don't know this for sure. Nobody sue me, please. I don't know for sure, but I think obviously that probably has something to do with it,
absolutely. And I think it's also just a testament to, the old way of thinking when it comes to the world of whether it's influencing or traditional Hollywood. Like things are changing, things are growing, things are evolving. Like people don't want to see the same people saying the same stuff over and over and over again. And they don't want to always look at very clean, cookie cutter, brand friendly type of content. Like some people want to watch other stuff. Some people are engaging with other things. And I think that's why I've joked before about how like, because I get the question a lot of like, oh, like, what do you think changed? Like, what do you think shifted when I got signed? And I said, I don't think anything changed, to be quite honest with you. I think I just got too big to ignore. Like, if I'm being honest, I got way too big to ignore. So
Well, I think, listen, that could be part of it. Sure.
Right.
Like this insane following, like people are obviously going to be like, well, this woman's doing something right.
Right.
But I mean, it's clearly your personality too. And we're going to get to this, like, how you went from TikTok to doing a whole bunch of the other things that you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. This is something that you had to fight for, as opposed to like the NFL job. And yet, here you are. And it's like, it's so much more rewarding, I would think. But
I agree.
Yeah, that's really, that's awesome. So, the negativity and the trolling, I mean, how do you deal with that? Because that's got to be so hard.
It's a lot. I would say, I don't think, it's never been something that ever made me think differently about myself. I think it was just
I'm so happy to hear that.
Right.
That's hard. Like that's
that's my borderline delusional confidence, I would say.
Right.
But
Good.
It's also, I think I'm just a fully formed human. So I've done a lot of work in unpacking, in regards to my own internalized biases, my internalized prejudice. Like I've let go of so many things, and I tell women especially all the time that I'm enlightened. Like my third eye is open. They can't touch me. I'm too high. Right. Like, and the reason being that, like, I think the greatest fallacy that men want you to believe is that, men or women only care about their looks. Like women derive all of their worth and value from what they look like, and more specifically how men interpret what they look like. And that's just simply not true about me. There are so many other things I love about myself, and I feel that make me feel very confident, that have nothing to do with my physical exterior. There are so many other wonderful things about me that I derive all of my confidence from. So when men say things like you're fat and ugly, because that is the only things they say to you when they don't like what you say online, the two insults they lean on are fat and ugly.
Ugly. That makes me so bad. I just want to jump out of this chair right now and like punch something. That's
their fallback. That's their go-to.
Yeah.
And ugly, liar. Fat, okay. Like fatness is not like.
Well, you're neither of those things, obviously.
And even I mean, ugly.
Who cares?
Beauty is subjective. Like what's ugly to one person may not be to the next. What I always joke around with men who say I'm ugly, I always say, okay, twin, right? First of all. But second of all, if looks were a race, I have one bitch beat, and it's that dude. So let's go face for face, please. So I think that's why it didn't really shake my cage at all, because they say the exact same things. Like there is no uniqueness to it. There's no variety.
Yeah, I mean, they're proving your entire point. It's like, thank you very much. Like you've just proven, everything that I'm saying is correct. Everything I'm doing. I've seen you on those red carpets, Drew. We're going to get to the red carpets. I've seen you looking pretty smoking hot on those red carpets.
Period.
Yes, period. Exactly. So all of your ass kicking has helped lay the foundation for this empire that you've built and you continue to build. And I feel incredibly lucky to be like a tiny part of it. It's just like, it's so exciting to see all of this stuff. So you currently host multiple podcasts. You've written a book. How do you expand? So how did you get from TikTok to podcasts and books?
I think the first thing I noticed when I'm older, so like I feel like sometimes
older. Oh God, that makes me a grandma. So can you please not say that?
Older in regards to a girl in TikTok years, I'm 92.
Right.
Like in TikTok years, they're like, oh damn. When I say
in TikTok years, I'm dead. But yes.
Yeah. Like for real, in TikTok years, I'm geriatric. So when I've been on the internet for a very long time. My point being that I've watched the rise of influencers. I've watched the many different pockets that they can slip into. So when this just so happened to happen to me, I knew immediately, I was like, I need to diversify, because I know that social media is not forever. It's very fickle. It's very impermanent. So I need to do something that is more permanent if I want to continue to move in the world of entertainment. So immediately I was like, I need to start rolling balls in other directions. And so a podcast felt like the first natural step at the time, because at the time, TikTok videos were only a minute, and then they went to 3. Now they're at 10. But I could fit a gang of jokes in a minute. Like that's what I was doing forever. It's like very short form. So I felt like podcasting was the next step, because that's a more long form version of my content. And so the comment section was born collaboratively between me and the production company. And so like when that started growing and became a thing, I started calling it my show because I already had a podcast with my sister, which is a completely different vibe.
Which is the Two Idiot Girls podcast.
Yes, and that's always really fun too because it's a completely
best
different
title
vibe.
Ever, by the way. Two Idiot Girls.
Just very, very very literal.
Yeah, very literal, but also a little tongue in cheek too. Right. I think, but
exactly. Yeah. And so I think for that one, that's a beautiful thing about me having two podcasts is they're completely different energies and vibes. So the comment section I call my show because it's very guest driven, obviously, and so it's more of an interview, more of a conversation. Whereas like Two Idiot Girls with my sister is more like sleepover vibes, cousin vibes. It's like. You get to
more like
girls.
Riffing and
exactly.
Yeah, and I had a chance to see you guys in New York as when you came through, and you guys were hilarious. You were so funny. That was a lot of fun.
It was a good time. And that's where the shows happened, and then the book happened shortly after that. I think the book was an extension of my platform also, but at the same time, I felt like the book I was really excited about because I wanted something to kind of show a different side of me, like I know I tell wiener jokes online, but I'm very smart too. Like it's one, that's another thing.
Clearly.
About me,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, I also read people. I also read books.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so I felt like the book was a way for me to kind of show the very deeper layers of my platform. Like, and I kind of pitched even when I was pitching it to publishers, I was like telling them at the same time that I felt like my platform has a lot of layers to it, and it felt like really pill and cheese to a dog. I was just giving it to them, and I was like, if this is how you learn about
I like
misogyny,
all the animal analogies. Yeah,
right. If this is how you learn about misogyny, here, take it, but don't stop with me. So I felt like the book was a way for me to kind of open that up a little bit more and kind of show people why I believe the things I do, like why I walk so convicted in the faiths that I have, and why I believe that like loving yourself outside the confines of a man is the greatest gift you could ever give yourself. It frees you of so many different things, and it opens up doors you could never even imagine. So, I think I was just trying to extend my platform in more permanent ways, and then it worked out, thank God.
Thank God. No, I mean, and you're empowering women. I mean, it's incredible. And that seems to be like the common thread from day one for you, right? From starting at the NFL and wanting to, push like women in sports or appeal to women, watching sports. And yeah, it's been fantastic. Just to get back to the comment section, because I find it so incredibly fascinating, that podcast, because what you're able to do there is bring things to light, right? Talk about subjects that are important, but in like a really entertaining way. And for example, with the Rainn Wilson one, you went through a broad range of comment sections on climate change. With Alok, you talked about belonging and tolerance. And it's just such a clever way to talk about these really important subjects. Mm-hmm. And how do you come up with, how do you source guests and topics?
I normally pick people I love. Selfishly.
Yeah, that helps.
I try to pick
That's what I'm trying to do with my podcast, and here you are.
Exactly. Yes. I think I have a wonderful team. My assistant Khairi is wonderful. She's like one of my main bookers. Spotify is a huge help with booking too. And I also just leverage like personal relationships with people I'm like that I love dearly. I'll just ask them, if you ever want to come key with me for an hour, you let me know. And so all of them are almost always open and down, which is amazing. And as far as subjects goes, I like to talk about things that they are known for, but also things that they just love. Like, it's very loose, I would say, when I have guests on the show. I tell people all the time, with the exception of maybe one or two out of like the 100 and almost 80 episodes I've done, I think I'm like at 177 or something like that.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. I didn't even realize that.
That's a lot.
That's a ton. Yes.
Time flies, Anita.
That's a lot. I know. I mean, didn't we just do that damn deal? And it's 177 podcasts later.
Right. Isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh. And so I think like, out of all of those episodes, I think I've only met maybe one or two of my guests prior to the episode. So almost all of them, they're in that chair and I talk for about 5 minutes and then we get started. And so as a host, like, I feel like the best conversations come out of letting them kind of steer the conversation. I'll steer it, but they tell me where they want to go. And so with Alok, like, Alok is obviously known for being such a staunch advocate, ally, activist. Like, Alok is a genius. Alok is so fucking smart.
Absolutely.
But on top of that, Alok is fucking hilarious. Alok is so funny. And I feel like Alok is known for a lot of the boots on the ground work that they do constantly, like fighting for others, fighting in spite of others. And then on top of that, they're also a stand-up comedian. So they are also so funny. And I felt like that was a wonderful opportunity to get to have really honest conversation about things they talk about all the time. But then also you got to see Alok tell funny ass jokes. Like, they were so hilarious and witty and quick. And so I love the idea of getting to talk to people and hear what they're known for, but also hear other things they love and talk about other things that they're interested in and other things that they're working on and other things that they're proud of. And I feel like that opens the door for a really wonderful conversation. So everyone has a great time. I get a great episode. They feel good and validated, and everybody's happy at the end of the day. Rain is another person who is so fucking smart and so fucking funny. And he is so talented, but cares about so many other things that he's not necessarily known for. So we got to talk about so many things. I gagged him a couple times. I made a couple jokes that made him giggle. And I always love making funny people laugh. So I feel like it just really set the stage, I think, from the very beginning to now of what kind of show I wanted. And I've always had intersectionality at the center point of it. And I feel like we've achieved that. Thankfully.
Yeah,
it's going well.
Absolutely. And from what I hear and see, it's growing. The audience is growing, and people definitely love the podcast. My best friend and I have this theory, and it's we of course pretend that we invented it, but like, funny is intelligent. Like, that shows intelligence. Like, not everybody is funny, and I think that's your point. There is well taken. That these people are not only incredibly intelligent, but also really funny. And I think that's such a great way also to educate people and get messages across without being preachy.
Yeah, the reality is too, young people are consuming this content at a rapid rate, like Gen Z and below. And so a lot of them get their news from TikTok. That's not a good thing, but it is true. And so they get a lot of their beliefs from TikTok. They get a lot of their, what things they love, things they hate. Like, there's a very powerful tool in social media, and it can be used for good or evil. So I feel like that's why I said I compare it to like pill and cheese, because it's something that I think is important you hear. But if laughter is the way you learn, that's fine. I think that's great. Like, I think what matters most is that you're consuming the content and understanding it to some extent. If you laugh about it too, or you ingest some jokes and humor and that draws you to it, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So I just have a few more questions. I could talk to you all day because it's so much fun. But I know that you don't have all day because you're busy, because you've got millions of people waiting for you to put up content. So you mentioned your book. It's called Loud, Accept Nothing Less Than the Life You Deserve. Can you put it? I was supposed to bring it, of course, and I forgot at home. So can you show us it? There it is. It's awesome. By the way, my 7-year-old is obsessed with this book.
Oh, really?
She can't, fully read it, obviously, but I think she just loves the cover. And she's always like, "Mommy, is this your client?" I'm like, "That is." It's the colors. It's everything. It's just like,
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And I love the fact, I joke around with my producer that every podcast I mention my kids. Sorry, I can't help myself, but that was the kid mention. Yeah, we'll get back to her in a second. But so the award season, let's get to that real quick. You have been hobnobbing with celebs. You've been on the red carpet. I mean, it's like the SAG Awards, Golden Globes, Oscars, Grammys. I mean, what is that like? That must be incredible. Like,
it's fun. Yeah. It's a good time. I would say it's more boring than you'd think. Like, in terms of, like you said, hurrying to wait. Like, that is how it feels.
Wait.
Oh yeah, girl. And I always joke, because every time I'm there, they're like, "Oh, girl, you're all over these award carpets." And I'm like, "You're right." And then they give me a vest and tell me to valet cars while I'm there. That's how it feels sometimes, because it's like I'm not talent, but I'm not quite there, but quite there. It's one of those. And so it's really fun. It's a great time. I would say too, it's a lot of standing and a lot of waiting and a lot of sweating, which we love.
Yeah.
My two favorite things, standing and sweating, my two favorite things. It's like, I will say too, the conversation about influencers on carpets, I get it. Like, I understand like how people are like, why are they there? They're there because
really?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking as you were saying, like, you're kind of there, but you're not there. Like, you've made it, but you have, like,
right.
I actually think there's more eyes on you than probably even watching the show.
You should tell them that.
Yeah, I will tell them that. I will tell them that.
That's the funniest part about it is like, you're right. But when you get there, you're not treated that way, which makes it even funnier. I'm cool. It doesn't matter for me. But what I will say is carpets are a lot harder than I think sometimes people think they are. I think sometimes people think, oh, I can talk to people. No, you can't. Most people can't. And it's funny because I've joked about how like, I know how fans react to me when they see me in public. I can't even imagine how you react to a Timothée Chalamet. Like, I can't even imagine how you would treat him. So I think it's one of those things where you have to be really quick and on your feet on a carpet. Like, you have to be ready to go at any moment's notice. And I feel like as an influencer, obviously I'm an influencer, but as an influencer, my job is to get things that are clippable, things that are go viral. Like, I have to get things that are interesting and magnetic and grab them. And a lot of times when I talk to talent, their teams will bring them up and then they'll say, you get one question, one.
Yeah.
And they scream that in my face and then they turn their back and I'm like, nice to meet you, Jack Quaid, how are you? So it's one of those where you have to be quick, you have to be witty, you have to be, and so I joke all the time about my carpet stuff is like, I'm just getting people to fall in love with me and I'm good at it.
I love that. That is awesome. That is so great. Yeah, we gotta trademark that, Drew. So you gotta put that. Let's make a note. Everybody make a note. We're gonna trademark that. That's awesome. Yeah, I can imagine it's intimidating and also annoying at the same time. One question, just one question. I mean, they're not that important. They're not that important.
Well, and that's why the snacks idea that I came up with was just the best thing to ever do, because one of the things that we all have in common, me as riffraff and them as talent, is that we don't have time. We don't have time to eat. We don't have time to like relax. And then there's no alcohol until you get inside. And then sometimes if you're nominated, you got to stay sober, which sucks too. So,
God forbid. Yeah.
So when someone let me bring snacks, it really worked. I got a lot of them to stop because I had snacks, because I had vodka, that kind of stuff. So
that's amazing. But I mean, vodka is going to work every time. So that was very smart of you. So we're gonna do what we call a lightning round.
Okay.
This is we're ask every guest these questions, and hopefully we'll have some fun. But
perfect.
So if you could only follow 3 people,
okay,
who would they be?
My sister.
I knew you were going to say your sister. By the way.
Caleb Heron, my friend Caleb. And
nice.
And then I'll say Brittany. Why not? If I can follow the 3, that's my favorite.
Nice.
Not even my man.
Like not even your mama.
I was like, my mom. Yeah, I was like, I'm like, who are the 3 funniest people I know?
No, that's good. That's very telling. I like that. I like that. So your dream collab, who would it be? It could be dead or alive.
Ooh, dream collab. I would love a dream like this is an insane once in a lifetime dream, and maybe it will come true because I'm a manifester. But I would love to have Beyonce on my show. Oh my God, I do die.
That would be so cool. I know so many people that saw her on this last tour, which I think
I did too.
God. Oh, good. That's awesome.
I love her.
Beyonce. That's Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's your go-to emoji?
My go-to emoji, honestly, it's this one.
Oh, yeah.
I use that one all the time. I use this all for everything, this one. Anything,
That's
everything.
Hilarious.
Whether someone's annoyed or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably use the laughing one too much. But I'm going to have to, start to do that one. There's three left in our lightning round. What is one thing you always do before hitting post?
One thing I always do before hitting post. Honestly, make sure all my jokes are funny and that there's no millennial pauses. Like
Oh, yeah.
have you heard of that millennial pause thing? That
No.
bullshit? Oh, girl. It's like when they say when millennials do this and older, which is like you press record and then you go, anyways, like it's like that half a second.
Now I'm going to be so self-conscious.
And I am too.
We've
That's why I go and I check.
We've already established I'm dead on TikTok, and now I have to friggin' watch for the pause.
Right.
That's great. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And what's one thing your audience doesn't know about you?
Oh, doesn't know about me?
Yeah, that you're going to tell the 5 people who are listening to this podcast.
I once got a question that was like, what's something you wish people asked you more? And I said, and so this is the same answer for both, that I got really high AP scores on my tests in high school.
Ooh, nice.
I got a 5 on my AP composition one, and I got a 4 or 5 on my AP lit, like in English and stuff. I'm smart. That's basically my point. I even passed my AP Gov one. It was like econ and government, a 4. Clock it. I was like,
That's awesome.
Look up those scores. Those are high. Yep.
Yeah, I'm Canadian, so I will have to look up those scores because that means nothing to me. But I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
Make a note to Google later. Okay, we have to make sure Drew really is smart. So we're checking those scores.
Thank you.
And just to end it, first of all, I really quickly want to say that I am so glad you're out there and you're doing your thing and your face is out there and people can see you. And I know you're very proud of your Samoan culture. And I'm so glad my daughter has people like you to watch. And my son, frankly, I've got, my daughter's 7, my son's 5.
Sweet.
It's so important and it's so great. And I am not trying to sound like a religious freak. I just think it's hilarious to call it God's work. I'm not a religious freak. But it's just, it's so important to have your voice out there. And so thank you for doing what you're doing and for, continuing to do what you do. This last question is going to be kind of funny after all that. But if you weren't a creator, what would you be?
Honestly, I think I would kill as a publicist. I
did not expect that answer at all.
I would kill as a publicist. I would save everybody's careers. I would notes app apology, please. You don't need that. You only need me. I would fix everything.
Like a publicist. Oh, sorry, a publicist or like a crisis manager.
I would say a publicist. Well, I guess they are crisis managers to some extent, but I mean, in terms of this world specifically, especially for celebrities, influencers, anything in between. Mm-hmm. I would anytime someone's in a rut, in a problem, I'm gonna fix it. I'll get the world back on your side. Yeah, yes. I'm literally like, what's her name in Scandal? I'm Olivia Pope.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was thinking about Ray Donovan too.
Right.
Did you ever see that show? Yeah, The Fixer.
I do. Yes, I do know the character. And that's why I'm saying I would be like Olivia Pope. I would kill, not for politicians though, ew. I would do it for celebrities. I would kill as that.
Yeah, I could see you doing. I could see that. That's interesting. Yeah. I didn't expect that answer, but that is a good one. So, Drew, thank you so much. Thank you again. It's been a pleasure. We never get to sit down and just have like fun chats because we're always like we were saying earlier, doing the business, getting the business done. And and by the way, your family's lovely. It's been awesome to get to work with them too. And I know you've got, such a strong team behind you and including your family. So once again, thank you. And hopefully you'll be hearing this like soon.
Yes, thank you.
Signed, Conversations with Digital Mavericks. This episode was produced by myself and Phoebe Dunn. Creative producer, Khairi Williams. Technical production support provided by Seth Richardson. Edited by Carmine Mattia. Social media strategy, Maureen Lauren Sedlak. And signed theme music by Carmine Mattia.